So I'm going to start up front with the heads here first. So one of the main things that we look at is the doffers and the spindles. So we look at the doffers and make sure that they're ground, got plenty of meat left on them. We get them rebuilt, we get them ground if we need to. We look at the spindle bars, we look at the condition of them. We can cater to whatever the customer needs as far as repairs goes to the heads. We can completely rebuild them, or we can just do the bottom spindles. It's really up to the customer as to how much money they want to spend, because it can get pretty crazy. We try to customize it and make it so that a machine, they're going to get the best bang for their buck when they, over the course of owning their machine. We go through, we level the bars in the heads to make sure that they're all square. We do everything that we possibly can to make sure that we get the cleanest pick possible. We always look at the cotton fan when we do our inspections. It's a pretty key important thing on these pickers. We look at the bearings to make sure that they're okay. The main thing that we look at is belts. If we're suspect, we recommend that people just go ahead and replace the belts. Also the tension rods, that's another wearing item. We always make sure that everything's up to date on our cleaning fans. A lot of what we're looking for physically is just looking for leaks when we go through this. We tighten any clamps that we need to, but we can also see a problem. You know, if there's a leak coming from a place that it shouldn't be, it's always better to do that in an inspection and find out sooner, so we have time to get it repaired properly and it's not a problem while we're actually picking cotton. We always look at these wrap guides. This is a problem with the earlier style wrap fingers. They actually have 3 styles. This has actually already got the newest style that wraps around on these fingers. It's something that we stock and sell, but it really stops wrap from getting caught up, and it stops a wrap misfeed, but we always make sure that they're right. Wrap floor belts is something that we look at. Before the 770s, they're not driven by anything other than friction. It is another place for a problem to happen. The bearings can get worn in the pulleys, the belts can get stretched. It's always good to thoroughly inspect the cooling package for any problems. It's a good time to spot if we have any leaks. It's not a common problem that we have, but also just how clean they are. People don't realize you can actually have a lot of debris that are actually caked in there that are sometimes hard to see, but it can really affect it at the beginning of picking season when things are really hot. So fan drives is something that I really stress to customers on this. This is something that can really cause downtime. It's never a fun job to do them. There's a few different ways that we can do this. We offer people to replace the fan drive with the new non-greasable fan drive. It seems to be working great. We've been using it for quite a few years now. But if you still have the older one, we recommend to rebuild it with the amount of crop that we do here every second season. If you replace the bushes and seals and re-grease it and put a new belt on it, it will avoid any sort of failure throughout the cotton season. So if we do have a failure, it's never a good thing. It's always when you don't want it to happen. So that's something that has been a wearing part. The new non-greasable one has been a good thing. So one of the things that we look at is pretty important on these pickers, and it is also pretty expensive if they have a failure. The feeder belt. Nobody wants to replace them, but if we do have to, it's better to do that. It's really not a fun job, so it is better to do that in the off season. But when we look at these, if the tracking's not right, it can actually avoid having a failure. So a lot of times it can be as simple as the joint is broken or something like that. It can be an easy fix. We might just have to retrack it.